Welcome to the Calmer Self podcast. I'm Nadine. Join me to learn how to connect with the calmer version of yourself. I'll share with you my tips and coping strategies for reducing feelings of stress, overwhelm and guilt so that you can live a productive life with ease and joy. And there'll be inspiration from other wellbeing therapists, experts in relaxation and fellow calm crusaders. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to my Calmer Self podcast. Today I have the absolute joy of talking to Sandrine, who is a nutritional therapist. So good morning, Sandrine Nutrition. I was going to say then, Sandrine. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
I'm so keen to talk to you today because not only do you specialise in nutrition, you are an expert in all things about nutrition and balance and gut health and all sorts of things I know that I've heard you talk about. But Hormone Harmony, you have a group, don't you, about is it your Hormone Harmony or?
Yes, I've just renamed it Hormone Harmony, actually, just to simplify things. Yes.
That's it. So, and I'm big on that. People that know me know that actually hormone balancing and everything is something that's very, very close to my heart. So you do that as well. So tell us a little bit about why you're doing what you do. What is your passion? What is your joy? I know you really love helping your clients and everything. So how did you get to where you are?
Thank you. Well, it started with a personal story, really, like a lot of nutritionists, you know. I experienced digestive issues when I was in my 30s, about 10 years ago, a bit more than that now. And basically, it's just your classic IBS symptoms, lots of bloating, really uncomfortable, particularly at night. And tried conventional medicine, didn't get any answers, and I just thought, I cannot stay like this for the rest of my life. This is crazy, I want to feel good. So I said to my husband, I'll sign up for a short course in nutrition, and this short course ended up being a 3-year diploma. And absolutely loved it. I mean, I was already really keen on food anyway. I'm from France originally, grew up on a farm. I don't know if you remember that. And basically always very much in touch with food and really appreciating food. But coming to this country, having a really busy job, I used to work in marketing, so quite high stress, little time to eat, and you get into the local habits, having sweet treats after lunch or snacks in the afternoon, not necessarily great for you. Anyway, so that led on to these digestive issues, which actually I only find out the exact cause years later, and it was that my starting point was a bout of food poisoning when I was a kid.
Right.
So that might resonate with some people who are currently experiencing bloating and not really knowing where it comes from. It could be because they've been really sick at one point in their lives, and then your body becomes really sensitive to certain foods.
Yeah, that's really interesting actually, because a lot of people do, they're living day to day and they're not as comfortable and as happy and feeling as good as they perhaps could. And a lot of the time they don't realise what it is and they don't know what to do about it. And I know, because I know your work quite well, and we've done quite a bit together, haven't we, that I call you a bit of a detective actually, because you really go big in finding out exactly what is going on, what nutrients are being absorbed. I mean, that's a big thing, isn't it? Sometimes we're taking lots of supplements, complete waste of time, they're not working. And so you do investigate a lot, and I think that is something that people don't do very often. Do you come across that? They've never really done that before?
Yes, and also it's, feeling bloated, there's so many reasons why you could be feeling bloated.
Mm-hmm.
It could be your hormones, it could be digestive issues, it could be stress, it could be, so people kind of learn to live with it and don't question, why they feel this.
Yeah.
When actually it could hide something quite serious.
That's the other thing, isn't it? It's an indicator sometimes, isn't it? And again, you would help people to actually look at that, maybe put a few things out of the way and then go, oh, well, there is something, and be able to help. So it's very, very important, isn't it? I'd sort of, a bit like an MOT, I think everyone needs to check in with you and go, right, help me, this is not exactly how it's meant to be. Because I would imagine most people aren't feeling 100%. And there's so much that we can do with our food choices, isn't there? And the way that we manage, if you like, our day to day.
And sometimes what people don't realize is that their digestion actually impacts the rest of their health.
Yes.
So, 70% of your immune system is actually located in your gut.
Yes.
So that, if you're trying to fight viruses, illnesses, you really want your digestion to work, 100%. And then moving on to hormone health, again, that's very much linked to the digestion. Say you suffer from constipation or similar, it means your body's not going to get rid of all the toxins you don't need.
Yes.
And then that's when we get symptoms. And in my group, in my Facebook group, I talk about PMS and also the first signs of perimenopause. And these first signs are quite often linked to poor digestion.
Yes, yeah. So we can do a lot for ourselves, can't we, to improve things? And I know you do talk about perimenopause, menopause, and a lot of people I know are finding symptoms popping up and things like that. And again, looking at your diets and your choices and maybe things that you can cut down on or increase, you can really help people, can't you? You do personalized plans with people, don't you? And
I do.
and help them actually going, well, if you eat this and if you maybe cut down on this and that kind of thing. And I have to say, you're very kind, you're very gentle, you're called the relaxed nutritionist, aren't you? It's not about being strict and cutting loads of things out. It's about having education and choosing, isn't it? And feeling better all the time, which makes the choices a lot easier, doesn't it? So I love the way that you work with people. It's so kind.
They are, and it's really about you as a person. So whoever is listening, it's about finding out what's going to make the biggest difference to you right now. For some people, it might be reducing stress, because stress will have an impact on digestion, and digestion has an impact on hormones, and so on. You can see how everything is related. So I help people look at their lives. Yes, looking at what we eat, of course, is a big thing, but sometimes it's looking how we eat, why we eat.
Yeah.
That's really important.
Yes, there's a bit more to it, isn't there? And I know that you help people with that, and it's wonderful. And I know in your group, you invite other therapists in to talk about different things, and so there's a lot in there, isn't it? So I'd encourage everybody to join the wonderful group. Say what it is again on Facebook. It's your Facebook group.
It's Hormone Harmony, natural therapies to support PMS and perimenopause symptoms.
It's a brilliant group, isn't it? So much in there, which is wonderful. Really, really good. Now, you talked a little bit there about gut health, and people are becoming more aware, aren't they, of their, I might not say this right, microbiome, is that right? The balance, right. Is that the balance? I can say the words, don't quite know what it means.
Basically the bacteria that live in your digestive tract. That's right. Really from your nose, your mouth, then all the way down.
How it's all connected. It's fascinating, isn't it, actually? I think I'm an expert myself, but I'm nowhere near it. But, but it is something that, again, as I say, people are being more aware of. And one of the things that I learned from you, I've learned so much, but one of the things I learned from you is about balance. Now, I talk about balance in my work all the time, the life-work balance and getting it. But you talk about balance, and it's balance with every food choice. So I now think about everything that I'm thinking about putting in my mouth, literally. Is there a balance? Because if I don't have a balance, I do understand enough to know there's going to be maybe some consequences. For instance, if I have a sugar hit, that's going to make me feel a certain way, not necessarily good. But if I balance that with fibre, tell me if I've got this right, protein, healthy fats, it's going to make a difference. Did I get it right? Okay.
Absolutely.
But it makes a difference. So every single choice is, for me, that, as I say, that is my biggest thing that I've actually learned from you, as I say, tons more. But just going, actually, if I combine something rather than just have one food group, one type of thing, it does make a difference. And the fact that I feel nourished, I feel satisfied, that makes a big difference, doesn't it? A packet of crisps, I could eat forever.
Yes.
But and it makes sense because it's not doing what I need nutritionally. It's not satisfying, is it? So those are the kind of things that I think everybody needs to know. And I know that you are big on, you do lots of recipes. And
yes, and this is when my kind of my French background comes back, because when you
yes,
think about the way French people eat, or you know, used to eat anyway, I'm not sure now because I've left France a long time ago, but you know, having a dessert as part of a meal is not such, you know, yes, of course it's a treat, but the way your body is going to deal with it will be very different from having a snack in the afternoon, a sugary snack by itself.
yes.
You know, then you're spiking your blood sugar and you're, you know, causing maybe, you know, you might not feel great. But having it as part of a meal, when you, as like you said, you've had some protein, you've had plenty of vegetables, had some healthy fats, you know, it's all part of a, you know, kind of one.
Yeah. Which is what I love as well, because it's not about not eating it, it's actually where it fits in and how it works well with your body, because it is the way that your body works with the foods that you put in, isn't it? You know, it's fascinating to me to actually sort of think, well, yeah, it makes sense. If you just have sugar, that's not really, that's going to do all sorts of things, isn't it? But if you do look at what you're putting around that, like say dessert after a meal, it's really fascinating, isn't it? So, and it is it goes back to that old, like you say, old-fashioned maybe values of meals. Yes. Not just grabbing one food group and one snack and everything. And again, you touched on that, like mindful eating, being calmer. I was trying to think of another word, but
taking the time.
Exactly. And we're both big on encouraging people, aren't we, to take the time. You know, all that eating on the run and that kind of thing. It's not the best, is it? So I love that.
And my daughter now, if I give her something on the go, she'll say, "Can we sit down?" Which I think is brilliant.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. So you've taught her, now she's reminding you. Good girl. I love that. I love that. It's really fascinating because again, I've got a nursery teacher background and everything. I saw the little children at 2 and 3 year old, you know, picking up not the best habits, you know, and it's I'm not putting blame out there on anybody, but actually, you know, it's really just those habits are very hard to break later on, aren't they? So if we start off right, then it is like, how many people don't have breakfast, you know, and if children see mummy not having breakfast, then they very quickly don't have breakfast, do they? And it's little things like that. Yeah, fascinating. Oh, I love it. I love it. Now I know I've asked you this question before, but I'll ask it again because I know people are interested and a bit confused by it. But this idea of intermittent fasting, I'm not sure. I know you said it's almost like making sure that you do have quite a gap between meals. Is that the kind of thing, letting your body have time to rest?
So actually, when you mention not having breakfast, in some instances it's okay. But for little children, they need to eat their breakfast because they've got school, they've got, you know, they're in full development, they need food on a regular basis for sure. But if someone is trying to either manage their weight or a health condition, yes, basically eating in a specific window time is really helpful, because it means that when you're not eating, your body is able to repair itself and to rest and digest and heal.
Yes, and that's so important, isn't it? And again, I don't think I started off my working career as a chef and I learnt to graze. Really bad, isn't it? My body was never not digesting, and that it's a habit, bad habit, but also I didn't realise how much harm that was doing. So it is. I love that idea, and I think I heard you say that you did it over Christmas time when there was quite a lot of food about. So just to almost delay that start of eating was quite a healthy thing for you to do. Well, you froze then for a minute.
Yes, so I did it straight after Christmas. Actually.
Right. Yeah.
Because yes, going, you know, I sometimes spend Christmas in France, and my mom is a feeder. She does like lots and lots and lots of foods, even though she has reduced massively now. Pain. But yes, just basically, it's kind of reconnecting with your appetite. You know, it's just starting to eat when you're hungry, as opposed to eating on automatic pilot.
Yes.
So if you wake up in the morning and you don't feel like having breakfast, don't have breakfast, have it later, have a brunch maybe around 11.
Yeah.
That's completely fine. In fact, you're respecting your body. It's telling you something.
Yes, I love it, because again, that's tuning in, isn't it? Tuning into you, tuning into your body, listening, being mindful. So it's again, and we do, our bodies do know, don't they, if we listen.
They do.
Yeah.
And that's coming back to those signs like the bloating. It's your body telling you that something is not quite right. It's reacting to something.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I love that. Full circle. That is brilliant, brilliant. So you've said about, well, I've said about how you work individually with people and you work out plans and everything, and about your lovely group. But you do like group things, don't you? I know you're keen on challenges. I love all your challenges that you do. Let me think about what you've done in the past. Smoothie challenge. That was fascinating. That taught me a lot. I've never been into smoothies. I learned a lot from that. And what's another one that you do quite regularly? The snack attack challenge, which is, there's so much, you give so much information on that, and I love that. And I think there is, you do them quite regularly through the year, don't you? So
I do 2-3 a year. Yeah.
So are there any other challenges that I've missed that you do regularly that people need to know about?
I did a sort of wellness, yoga and nutrition sort of.
That's right. That was when wellness that was lovely, because I joined in with that. And it just comes to mind, you did something about chocolate and mood swings. I don't know if that was a challenge, but that's
like a webinar, and it's basically an introduction into perimenopause for anyone who's kind of wondering what's happening to their bodies. You know, if they are late 30s, early 40s, and really feeling some changes, then next time I organise this webinar, I would encourage you to join, because you'll learn quite a lot about what's happening in your body.
Definitely. So when people join your group, your Facebook group, they'll be able to see all that, won't they? So they won't miss anything. That will be brilliant. Absolutely. And as I say, you work with people in lots of different ways. You have programs, do you, for people, different things that you do, or do you want to explain a little bit about the different ways they can work with you?
So I do, to keep it simple, I do 3 programs. So I do a 6-week program called Energize Me, which is essentially for someone who's feeling really tired, really depleted, want to learn how to eat for their own body. Just because they want more energy, maybe they want to balance their weight, they're dealing with a condition they've been diagnosed with, and they just need that extra help with the food side of things. I do an 8-week program called Hormone Harmony, which is for somebody who is perhaps suffering from, say, PCOS or endometriosis, or, you know, all these kind of hormonal issues. And then I do a 12-week program specifically to focus on the gut. So that's really about healing the gut. So it's really saying goodbye to IBS symptoms.
Brilliant.
Which is, it can be done. So, you know, once you find the root cause of your problem, you can deal with it and get rid of it. And that's what happened to me. So I have no IBS. I can eat pretty much what I want, and I know the food that perhaps trigger me more than others. But once you know that, you really feel empowered. And then the final one, which I introduced quite recently, is a perimenopause program. So that's a 6-week, it's called Perimenopause Freedom, and it's an amazing package. It's obviously coaching with myself on a weekly basis, but it also comes with amazing supplements. So, you know, and food lists and recipes, and this whole package is absolutely brilliant. And I've had ladies who were experiencing the first symptoms of perimenopause, and I've had ladies who were postmenopausal doing the program, and they all benefited from it.
I think that's really important for people to understand, because I was diagnosed with a hormone imbalance in my 20s. If I'd have known you then and joined in with that, that would have massively helped me. So this is for everyone, isn't it, at whatever stage? Because there's so much, like you say, you teach so much, you give so much, you know. So I think
if someone wants to have a chat and understand actually which program is right for me, this is how to help.
Yes.
And I'm also very transparent. If I feel that I'm not the right person for them and they need more of a specialist, then I will suggest that as well. So
brilliant. Yes, and I know you've got wonderful people around you, haven't you? So that's really good. Very good point to say, actually. So you work with people everywhere, do you? Do you do a lot of your work online? I know you have a lovely place people can come and see you, but it can be anyone, anywhere, can it?
Absolutely. Actually, at the moment, I'm still fully online, so it works for, you know, majority of people. I will meet, you know, local people, but I can help anyone, really.
That's wonderful, because people need to know that, don't they, that they can get in touch with you, which is wonderful. Now, you're very, very busy. You get a lot done. You're a mother. You've got your wonderful business. How do you fit some tiny moments of calm in your day-to-day life? You look very calm, so you must have a little There must be there must be something going on. I know you look after yourself very well, but how do you fit some moments of calm in your busy day?
So I discovered meditation during the first lockdown, and it has been a lifesaver. It really has. And so since then, I do use meditation. I'll be honest, I don't do it every day, but when I need it, I definitely do it either first thing in the morning before my daughter wakes up, or at night when she's trying to fall asleep, like I just did last night.
Yeah, I love that, because it is sometimes fitting it in is the hardest thing, especially when you have young children. And actually, if you do it before the day starts, then you've done it, haven't you? And I always say that start your day with you. So that is lovely that you fit that in.
And every time I do it at the beginning of the day, my day runs really smoothly. It's unbelievable. So for anyone who's a little bit reticent about meditation, if you'd said to me 10 years ago, you'll be meditating, most morning, I would have said, no way, the same thing with yoga. No, it's too slow kind of thing. But actually, if there is one thing to do, it's to slow down a little bit, because it really sets you for the day.
Lovely. I really, really love that. So you have shared so much with us. Thank you so much for that. As I say to everyone, you give a lot. Any involvement with you, there's so much information that people get, and just this little quick talk, you've given us so much. But is there anything you'd like to leave people with, some words of wisdom maybe, or something? You might have already said it, but something just for people to take away and think about, oh, that's something I'm going to keep in my mind.
Yeah, I think it's when people think about nutrition, I think they're a little bit worried about, oh, I'm not going to be able to eat this and that and the other. When actually think about the things you can eat, and also, the things that are going to be good for you. It's nutrition. It really is about, personalized approach. It's what is going to make you feel great. And it's not about applying everything in one go and completely changing your diet overnight. It's all about those baby steps. The one thing you're going to do today that's going to make you feel a little bit better, and then same thing the next day, and so on. And you build on these new habits, and before you know it, you feel amazing.
I love that. Baby steps. That's the way, isn't it? So it has been lovely talking to you. I know we could talk forever. You must come back. We must have another chat at some point in time. But it has been brilliant. So thank you very much for your time today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. It's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for listening to the Calmer Self podcast. Please rate and review. And if you want support, advice, accountability and inspiration to make the changes you need to manage your stress and live your life with ease and joy, check out the Calmer Self Facebook page. There's also more information on LinkedIn, Nadine award-winning changemaker, and please visit my website www.calmerself.co.uk.